Hey guys, I am trying something a little different, and for those of you who have watched me in the past, at least this year, I have said that 2015 was going to be the year that I was really going to try and work through all of my stash. Try and not buy all the new stuff, which has really been hard. On some of these things have been really, really cute. And I've slid a little bit, but I have really stayed pretty true to not buying anything new. So, having said that, these are Strathmore Smooth Surface for pen and ink rubber stamping. On the back of them is dated 1994. So I've been pushing these around in my drawer for a long time. There's 10 cards and envelopes, and they're 3 5/8. Well, no, that's the envelopes. They're 3.5 by 4 7/8 cards. So they're a nice little card. Can be sent through the mail really easily. They're probably, you know, for thank you or RSVP or invitation cards, but I'm just making fall cards. Now, before I go any further with that, I am not making the cards with all of the new products. I'd say 90% of what's going to be in this 10 card series is going to be stuff you can't probably buy anymore, but that's not the reason behind these. These are kind of technique driven or learning to think outside the box with what you got. So that's kind of what I'm doing. These are not watercolor. I'm not going to use any watercolor paper, but I am going to try and do some Tim Holtz stuff. I'm going to try and do some blender pens. I'm going to do some glitter. I'm going to do embossing. So it's all going back to techniques that are tried and true, and maybe it'll just remind you of something that you really enjoyed doing and have gotten away from, or whatever. I don't know, but we're going to try this. And they're all going to be fall cards, not Halloween, fall. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. So the first card in this series is using 3 different, well, one's not a stamp set. One is a stamp, and I honestly do not know where it came from. It's Owl Always Love You. I don't know if it was Sparkle and Sprinkle that I got this from, or I honestly don't know. And then 2 old Stampin' Up. I don't know if you can still get these. I think this was a fairly new one, and this was a specialty one, so I'm pretty sure you can't get that one anymore. This one maybe. It's Out on a Limb. The only thing I'm using on it is the branch. And then this is Punch Bunch, which is one that they just kind of made with all of the different things that you can use different punches with. And I'm using this little fella right here, and I've got the matching punch for this little critter, and the owl punch, and it's got his little breast. You know, it's like a vest, but it's the breast part and eyeballs and hearts. So I actually used this twice in this series, but this one is a fairly masculine card. I also went through, all of my stash of papers that I thought could possibly be used as fall. And so I used a lot of these, trying to get rid of my stash. Do I have beautiful fall papers that have not been packaged, that have not been opened? Yes. But the idea is to get through all of this stuff and get it used up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and punch this out. There we go. Put that off to the side. And let's go ahead. I've got this little pick-me-up silhouette pick-me-up. I really enjoy using this thing. And we're going to get this stuff glued on here quickly and let it dry. Okay. And almost straight. There we go. And we're gonna put, I wanted one that was kind of a masculine card. Several of these that I'm gonna have in here today. And again, these are really pretty straightforward, and yeah, pretty straightforward and pretty just kind of reminding you that, you know, gosh, it'd be wonderful to buy all those wonderful stamp sets that are out there and stuff, but you've probably, like me, got quite a few stamps that can be used in many different ways. So there's that guy. Isn't he cute? Isn't he adorable? Okay, so I'm putting him off to the side for a minute. Now, him on this branch, to me, he's just way too big. So I'm just going to, I couldn't find a larger branch, so I'm just going to make this one larger. So I'm taking my Tombow black, and I'm just going to make this, I'm following along, and I'm making this thicker. I don't really need to make these little branches thicker, and I am going to kind of fill this in. And I'm going to do it one more time. Just kind of follow this along so it looks like it's a much more substantial branch. And just kind of there. Now it looks a little more substantial, so that when he's on there, he's not going to look like, you know, it's going to break anytime soon. I'm not worried that it's just coming out of nowhere and nothing like that. Now I cut this little bit here, and I want to get just a little bit of black soot just around the edges. And again, this is just some scrap paper. I'm sorry I could not tell you where it came from. I have seen some of this type, this kind of lined paper like Teresa Collins, and I'm sure you go out there and looking, you can find it. But again, that's not the reason. It's go through your stack, pull everything out that could possibly be thought of as being fall, and make something. Pull something together out of it. Now I've got some brown and white. Yeah, this stuff. Oh my goodness. Baker's twine. And I'm just going to wrap this a couple of times and tie a bow. Okay. Okay. Get this pulled underneath this. And usually with baker's twine, if you get both ends pulled one way and then you pull your loops, you're going to get them to lay where they're going to come down where you want them to come. And you're going to get your loops to unwind if they get twisted around a little bit. You just kind of lay your hand on them and pull, and you'll get them where they're going to pretty much lay down the way you want. Now that's a pretty good size for me. And I'm just going to cut off the little tails. Going to make that just a bit shorter. There we go. And get these separated out a little bit just so they look a little more interesting. Okay, something pretty simple. Get it off to the side a little bit more. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to get this glued on. Actually, I'm going to take a piece of tape. I always like doing this when I'm messing around with baker's twine, or I just tape a bit of it so I know that it's really going to stay pretty well now. It's not going to move around or anything. Even if I don't like catch it with glue or something like that, it's going to pretty much stay right where it's at. So there we go. Let's get this glued down. I am always looking for masculine cards because they're a lot more difficult to make for me, and I think for most people. They're a lot more difficult to make because you can't put all the pretty stuff on there. So, yeah. And I also wanted to make these single layer cards. You know, I mean, I'm doing a little baker's twine, but to me that's, you know, I'm not wanting to really get a whole lot of dimensional kind of things on these. So that they're easily mailed. Easily mailed. Now the one thing I am going to do, I think, is take a little bit of a orange. I want to see though. This is a Stampin' Up. This is Peach Parfait. Let me see this color. This is more mustard. That's pretty dark. Well, I think that one will work though. I'm going to get his beak because I think it's just going to get lost. So there is his beak. There. And I think that kind of tops him off. Got his little beak in there. I didn't want that to get lost. So now I'm going to glue him down, but first I'm going to put my owl, O-W-L, owl, always love you. And I think it's going to go right there. And I think that's going to work really well. And it's going to be really cute. But it's a fairly masculine card. I missed a little bit of my solid color stamping in here. So I'm just going to come through with this and fill that section in, and there's a little bit on this side as well, and that just helps it look like you know, you didn't miss anything, and it's just a nice solid black now. Yeah, actually there's a little bit up here too. I think my ink needs to get re-inked. So we're just going to touch all this up so it all looks the same. There we go. Alright. Alright. It'll dry. It'll be cut some of that off. It got too long. All right, and my tweezers. I'll put some glue on the back of this fella. Again, you can put these on dimensionals, but I'm looking for ones that, because most of these that I'm going to be giving are going to be to people that are going to be interested in just being able to write them and stick a stamp on them. College kids, my mother, they're not really going to be interested in if they have to go and get extra postage on these. And usually what I do when I do this stuff is I send them a card. I send them the cards and the stamps that go with them and all that 9-yard stuff. So, okay, let me get my clear block that's going to work with this. And I'm going to use my black archival ink. This is what I've used on all of these. Okay, and that's how I always ink up my stamps, just for those who want to know. Now, wait a minute. Okay. This is always the hardest thing for me when I'm... Sorry for getting my head in here. It's one of the hardest things to line things up when you can't... Oh, very cute. Okay, so there's my card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow with another one. Okay, thanks. Bye.